What's up, everyone? My name is Carter, and this is the 2A Enthusiast channel. Today is actually my first video, and I'm super excited to share this with you. Starting out, I thought we would kind of go over one of my favorite rifles that I have out today. This is the Seekins HIT. This one's chambered in 6 Creedmoor, and I kind of thought I'd just give you my thoughts on it, especially with the new Seekins that just came out. The new hits are pretty phenomenal, and for a budget kind of precision rifle, this is the kind of rifle that I would highly recommend for anyone kind of getting out into long range shooting or precision shooting. The old generation that I've got here, as well as the newer generation, is really something that I would highly recommend, and will push to anyone. Seekins is a phenomenal company. They're made here in Idaho, and they are by far one of my favorite rifles that I have to shoot. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so like I said, this is chambered in 6 Creedmoor. Today we're just going to be shooting some 6 Creedmoor target ammunition from Norma. Norma actually seems to perform pretty well through this gun, and I've had good luck with Norma ammunition and other stuff. I'll talk about it a little bit later, but the Norma ammo is really nice because it's super inexpensive. So for someone who's maybe on a budget, the ammo shoots great. It's super cheap. I think that stuff was like $1 a round or something like that. So not super expensive like a lot of your other stuff that's going to be like $2 to $5. But yeah, let's get into it. We're just going to shoot found a little box out here. So we're just going to shoot it and see what we get for groups. I've got 5 rounds loaded up, so let's see what happens. Guess I better put it on fire. Alright guys, so we got out here to the box. I said it was going to shoot 5 rounds. Looks like all 5 are on target. But looks like I got one that was kind of more of a flyer. I don't know if it was me or if it was what it was. Maybe it was the wind that's out here right now. It's about 15-ish miles an hour almost. So it's a little cold, a little windy. And also I haven't taken this gun out for probably about a year or so. So let's take a look. Alright, so here's the group. So we got 2 here, same hole basically. 1, 2, so that's 4, and then that guy, which like I said is possibly flyer, could have been me. Could just be because I haven't taken this gun out and shot it for a while. I honestly, that first trigger pull, I forgot how light the trigger was on that gun. Like I said, this is the Seekins HIT in 6 Creedmoor. I've got, so I guess let's go over it, kind of how I have this one set up. So at the very front, I'm running an Otter Labs Polo 30. I kind of switch between what I run on this gun. Kind of just depends on what I'm doing. If I'm kind of more of like a bench rest kind of gun, I don't really care how heavy it is. So a lot of times I'll put a Yankee resonator on the end of it, just because that can is so heavy and huge. Shirk does quiet it down. As you might have noticed, you can't really hear, I guess, what it sounds like compared to real life. But while I was shooting it with this can on it, it was actually pretty quiet. I wasn't wearing any ears. The poloniums are super sweet. I've got the 30 and the 5.56 model, and the 30 seems to do really well on a lot of bolt guns. You know, your 308, 6.5 Creedmoor, 6 Creedmoor, that sort of stuff. So that's generally what I'm running on this gun. If I'm not running the resonator, I'm running the Polo 30. And we just have it direct thread. And then, like I said, barrel's a 6 Creedmoor. The profile of the barrel is super large, so it does a great job of dissipating heat, as well as not necessarily retaining the heat either. It just does a really good job of keeping its accuracy, really. And then bipod, we have the MDT. This is one of their more basic MDT bipods, so it's an ARCA design, so it'll clip onto all your ARCA rails. This one's pretty nice because it is just, you know, your Polo style. You can get different style legs for this one if you want to, I believe, but this one works just fine for me. It's got multiple different leaning positions on it, so works really well depending on how you're wanting to shoot. I don't use it a ton because this gun generally is sitting either on the tripod that I have here, the Leupold tripod, or I'm laying down and I've got it rested on bags, or, you know, it's on a bench and again on bags. I don't use the bipod a ton, but it is super handy. And then of course the bipod is sitting on a Seekins ARCA rail. This one, the Gen 1s, they didn't come with ARCA rails. The Pros that came in after the Gen 1 did come with ARCA rails, sorry. So I added the Seekins ARCA rail that they came out with for these guns. Super helpful. You know, allows you to run multiple different accessories, whether that's a bipod, tripod, you know, different bag riders, that sort of thing. And then magazine, I'm actually running the MDT magazines. These are super nice. They got really nice metal feed lips. They feed really well. I don't have any feeding issues. When I first got the gun, I think it came with like P mags, and it was having a really hard time running those mags. And I don't know if it was because the gun was brand new, so it was breaking in a little bit, along with running through you know, a plastic feed lip type of magazine. But it was having a really difficult time, so I switched over to these MDT magazines. They cost a little bit more, but they are super nice. I love these things. This is the 10 rounder. I think they also make a 15 and a 5, I believe, but I'm not sure. And then yeah, other than that, that's pretty much it. Besides the scope that I have set up is the Mark 5 5-25. This is a PR1. I slightly wish I would have gone with a PR2 reticle, just because I like that Christmas tree a little bit. The nice thing with the PR2, over like some of your other Christmas tree reticles from other companies like Vortex and whoever else it may be, their Christmas tree is actually not as like thick, so reading the wind and trying to be able to use those crosshairs accurately is actually way easier on the PR2s from Leupold, I feel like, compared to some of your other brands that I've used in the past. So that was why I went with the PR1, although using a PR2 on other guns that I've shot, the PR2s are also really nice. I love the Leupold Mark 5s. I love their zero stops that they have in them. I think they're way better than any other scope I've ever used. They're way easier to use. Granted, I haven't gotten into, you know, some of those nicer Steiners and things like that, but I really love the Mark 5s. And then it's just sitting on Seekins rings, some of their nicer higher end rings, along with a Vortex bubble level, just to make sure that I'm more level when you're shooting. Of course, you want to be level when you're shooting long range, so I threw that on there this last fall, I think. And then just kind of a little rundown. You've probably seen it in most of the other videos. I think there's quite a few videos out on the Seekins HIT. But the cool thing about it, move this out a little bit. So the cool thing about it is you do have a dust cover. Really nice. You know, in case you're out shooting PRS and you need to show your chamber's clear, wind's picking up, especially here in Idaho. Northern Idaho can get kind of windy too, and it can get really dusty. It's very sandy out here, I guess you could say. So the nice thing is you can show clear, close your bolt, or open your bolt, but close your chamber basically, so you're not getting all that gumminess in there, especially if you're running your bolt a little more loop. Then it's way helpful to have that. I don't use it a ton until I'm out shooting in the desert like I am today with the wind. Then it is sure helpful. And then another awesome feature with Seekins HIT is their stock folding, I guess, feature. So with a lot of your other brands, like I guess Sig, for example, is the one that I always really think of when I think of folding stocks that come from the factory. I think of Sig, and I hate Sig's folding stock that they have on their, I guess, their precision type guns. I really don't like it. I have a hard time folding it, and I just don't like it. It's not intuitive. Whereas on the HIT, it's just a push button, and it folds right over. It's super stiff. I mean, like, it's not gonna fall out, and it's pretty stiff to pull back. I mean, I've had this gun for 2 years, and I've never ever had problems folding it, unless my hands are really cold like they are today. And I've never had a problem with it staying closed. So the Seekins HIT, it's super compact when you have it folded. I mean, you can literally put this in a backpack when you're hiking. You know, they make Everly stock. They make a really nice backpacking sort of sling that works super well with this type of rifle. So yeah, it's an awesome gun. One cool thing that I want to point out was they do have a switch barrel design on the Seekins, and I think they do it better than a lot of other companies. So the really cool part about it is right here, right next to the action, is a little screw. You literally just undo that screw, twist the barrel out, and then I've got a second barrel. I've got a 6.5 Creedmoor barrel. Reason why I have a second barrel, when I actually bought this gun, I was so unsure of what caliber I wanted, whether I wanted 6 Creedmoor, 6.5 Creedmoor. I was always into 6.5 Creedmoor before I got this gun. I had buddies that had 6.5 Creedmoors, but the shop I worked at, a lot of the guys tried to, I guess, teach me, or not necessarily teach me, but try to push me into getting a 6 Creedmoor. You know, it shoots super flat compared to the 6.5 Creedmoor. Shooting long distance, it does get pushed a little bit more than 6.5 just because of how light it is, but it is a super awesome caliber. I did go with a 6.5 Creedmoor barrel as well, for the fact that I have buddies that have 6.5s. I personally owned a 6.5 Creedmoor as well at the time, and so I had ammunition for 6.5, and it just made sense to have a second barrel, depending on what I was going out doing. If me and a whole bunch of buddies were going out and they were all shooting 6.5, I generally would just throw this barrel on there, and then I could run 6.5 along with them. Didn't have to worry about issues of swapping ammo and shooting the wrong ammo through this gun or anything like that. But yeah, like I said, it's just a screw right here. You undo the screw. It has this little like spacer thing that pops out with the screw. You untwist the barrel, take your new barrel, thread the barrel in, and then tighten the screw down. I don't remember if they give specs on like how tight to tighten it. I remember the last video I watched from Seekins, they said just tighten it up. I think like 10 to 12 inch pounds, which really is pretty much hand tight. Like 10 to 12 inch pounds isn't overly tight. It's not, you know, hulking it down or anything, but it works really well. This one I do have fitted out with a Yankee Hill muzzle brake. This is their 3-prong muzzle brake, and overall it does fairly good for how cheap they are. And really, I just went with this brake because I have other Yankee Hill products that make it easy and compatible for me to swap suppressors around. If I have other suppressors that I'm using, I can just throw one of the Phantom devices on and run with that. But yeah, I mean, this is kind of my precision rifle. Super sweet. I haven't shot as much as I should. I've owned it for, you know, a little over 2 years probably, and it's probably got 300 or 400 rounds. So really, it's just kind of getting broken in. I mean, I guess if you were to compare both the barrels, it's probably about 1,000 rounds with the gun altogether. But yeah, I mean, I love this thing. I even kind of did my own little sponge paint job. So thanks to Shooter Clark, he really got me into painting guns. So this is one of those main guns that I've enjoyed painting. If you ever want to see how to maybe paint a gun, there's tons of videos out there on YouTube. Shooter Clark, I think, has quite a few of them. but also, I mean, there's tons of others. T-Rex Arms has them. I can do one if you guys are interested. Feel free to leave a comment down in the comment section. Shoot me a message, whatever it may be. Hit me up on Instagram. Let me know that you want to see more paint jobs. I've got a couple other guns that I've done paint jobs on. And then I've got another build that I'm in the process of that is going to get a paint job as well. I'm not sure what that one's going to look like yet, but this one's been my favorite paint job. I was super scared of painting this gun, just because, number one, it's been one of my most expensive and nicest guns that I've owned, with, you know, the Mark V and the rifle itself. I was really afraid of, like, messing the paint job up, making it look kind of, you know, terrible. But overall, like, it came out really well. The gun started out as FDE, and I loved it in FDE, but I wanted to make it look kind of unique, I guess. I wanted it to be my own rifle, especially after looking at Sawyer's rifles. Sawyer, all of his bolt-action rifles are all painted. Most of them all look very similar, but they're all painted and they're all his. And so I wanted to do the same thing. I wanted to paint mine and make it my own. So yeah, that's what I did. I used a couple different techniques to paint this so that it looks the way that it does. But yeah, that's the Seekins rifle. Thank you again for joining me today on this video. And if you have any questions or any great comments, maybe things that you would add to this gun or things that you changed to it, I would love to know. Please leave your comments down in the comment section. Look me up on Instagram. I have a link in the description that will lead you to my Instagram page, which also will lead you to my Link Me page, which has links to many other brands that I love and enjoy. This channel I hope to build up to share the things that I enjoy, all of the 2A products, like I said, and so that's what I hope to share. I hope to share more of the 2A content that I enjoy, the products that I use every time I go out shooting, or really even day to day. So that's the Seekins HIT. Like I said, please leave a comment down in the comment section, and thank you again.